Alright guys, this is Blue Ridge again, and there's my Phantom 2 Vision Plus. And I ordered something and it came in the mail today just in time for Christmas. And let's see what I got. Killer RC Gimbal Saver. Ooh, what else? Candy. Haha. Alright, let me move this stuff out of the way. So here it is, the Killer RC Gimbal Saver. So basically what it does is it goes on the gimbal, and what the purpose is in a crash, a lot of people had the gimbal separate, and when it did, it tore the ribbon. So we're going to remove this back piece, get it out of here, and then we're going to install the Killer RC one and put it right here, and it will protect the gimbal. Awesome. Alright, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at what comes in the packaging. Of course, here is the gimbal cover piece that actually wraps around the part of the gimbal. And here is the back plate. And here is the instructions. And here's just the card stock that came in there from Killer RC. And here is one of Kent's business cards. And of course stickers that you could put on there on your drone if you wanted to. And of course we got the candy. So let's take a look. Now remember, these are CNC machined, so each one should be almost identical. So here is the back plate, very light. And this is the piece that wraps around the front of the gimbal. And of course it came with an Allen wrench, which is pretty cool because I brought mine just in case. I didn't know if it came with one or not. And here is the instruction manual. And there's one thing to note. Make sure when you do this, there is a small screw on the top of the back plate. Do not use a longer screw there. You could damage your gimbal. So let's take the screws out here. I'm going to fast forward this really quick. No sense looking at me trying to unscrew things. Make sure you have a really good screwdriver and take your time. And here is the stock back plate and the Killer RC one. So let's compare them. They are almost identical, except for the piece coming off, of course. Very well made. I mean, this looks like it could be something that came stock. I mean, this is perfect. So basically, it just fits right here on the back where the original one came off. Alright, so let's make it a little bit closer here. Again, make sure you use the smaller screw on the top part, and then the other two larger screws go on the bottom. Do not rush this step. Like I said, just take your time. What I prefer to do on electronics and stuff like this is I like to put all the screws in there, double check, make sure everything looks right before I go torquing it down. And don't strong arm these screws. These screws aren't meant to be torqued down. Just do them snug just enough. It's also recommended, if you wanted to, you could put a small drop of Blue Loctite on these screws. However, when I removed them, they already had a little bit of Loctite on them, so I prefer not to put any more on there. I don't want to torque these things down where I can't get them off. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the protector here for the gimbal, and I'm going to install the other piece. And here is the arm that goes around the front of the gimbal, and it has its own screws and what appears to be Blue Loctite already on those screws. And this is the piece that actually goes in front of the gimbal to keep it from separating, and it has that little nylon piece on there. And I'll show you in a minute that there's a gap between the gimbal and that nylon piece. And with the magic of editing, I'm just fast forwarding while I'm putting these screws in that arm piece. A lot of times my hand was in the way or the camera didn't focus correctly. Alright, so now I'm just tightening the screws that are on the back plate. And then once I've got everything ready to go, I'll go ahead and torque down the screws for the arm piece that goes around the gimbal there. And again, like I said, just basically take your time. Don't over tighten these screws. And you know, once you got everything like you want it, then you can torque them all down. And again, the magic of editing. I'm just fast forwarding here so I can show you how the gimbal saver goes around the gimbal there. And it's got free movement. I wanted to make sure I show you that. Here you can see just a little gap between that little nylon piece there that's on the arm on the gimbal saver. It's right here. And in theory, a gimbal saver, basically what it does is it keeps the gimbal from separating in a crash. Hopefully, knock on wood, I'll never have to rely on it, but it's good to have it there, you know, just in case. And as you can see, it's really, really well made. Again, it almost looks identical to the stock back plate. I like it because you're basically, you know, removing the stock one and putting this one on. So if you're adding any weight, it's very little. Now I'm going to show you that you can still use the little safety device to keep your gimbal safe when you're carrying it around, or, you know, you've got it in your box. It works perfectly fine, just like it did when you first bought it. So there you have it. That is the Killer RC Gimbal Saver, available at killerrc.com. There's a link in the description down there. Thanks for watching. Please give the video a like. Also, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button up there on the top left. Oh yeah, I forgot. The candy. Chocolate. Thanks, Killer RC.